Hello and welcome back. This is the 31st video in the Flow Certified Professional Online Training Series. And today we're going to be going through servant leadership. So the takeaways for this video are the Level 5 leadership. We're going to talk a little bit about what that is, the 12 traits of a Level 5 leader. We're going to chat a little bit about management versus leadership, and we'll look at flow mapped to teal thinking. These are the 5 levels of Level 5 leadership. This was shared by Jim Collins in his book Good to Great, and they had done quite a bit of research into the various types of leadership, and he came up with these 5 levels. And the first level was a highly capable individual. And so you'll hear us talking a lot about the pursuit of personal excellence and becoming a really good worker and someone who can contribute to the overall success of the organization. And that brings us to the next level, where not only can you do that on the individual level, but you can do that as a contributing team member. And everything that we do in Flow and in Agile and in project management, most of it's about teams, okay? And so it's really important that not only are you individually pursuing excellence, but as a team that you're also pursuing excellence. Level 3 in their research was a competent manager. And we all know about the Peter Principle and people being promoted to a level that exceeds their competence. And there's a lot of those mistakes that are made often. They'll think, oh, this person's really good in doing this particular job. Well, that means that they're going to be a good manager. And that's not always the case. It's something that a person has to be trained in, coached in, mentored in, and help them on their journey to becoming a competent manager. But it's at level 4 where it becomes a very different game and a very different thing, because there's a huge difference between having competent managers and being an effective leader. And they don't speak the same language. We've talked about that, and I'll keep hammering it at home. An effective leader is someone who can inspire and breathe life into their managers, into their teams, into their individuals. And then the transformational executive is one step higher than an effective leader. You can be an effective leader and still not be a servant leader, okay? And to become a servant leader, the note at the bottom from Jim Collins just nails it. A level 5 leader or a servant leader builds enduring greatness through a paradoxical blend of personal humility and professional will. So this is a tough one, because meek does not mean weak. Okay. Humility doesn't mean that you don't have a strong will. It's understanding how to balance those two in order to become a transformational executive. And a transformational executive will understand that it's not enough to put tools in there or frameworks in there with your individuals and teams and programs and portfolios and expect a transformation. The transformation has to start at the top. There's an old proverb that the fish rots from the head. And if we're not going to be addressing that, then it's going to be really tough for the organization to be able to do a transformation that can be sustained. These are the 12 traits of a level 5 executive, and I sort of put them again into 4 quadrants. You need to be able to listen and empathize. You need to have a really high level of self-awareness and the ability to persuade. And so all of those go hand in hand. 90% of everything that we do is communications, okay? Then you have to have foresight, insight, and conceptualize. And that's why we keep talking about flash foresight and anticipatory vision. You need to be able to see beyond the horizon of what's down the road, and via anticipatory vision begin to paint a future of future facts where you can say, okay, it could look like this or it could look like this, and be able to react and act and proact and preact accordingly. A level 5 executive understands how incredibly important it is to build a community, to create a safe space for the team where they feel protected, and create a way that they can grow. So that includes people who take initiative, people who have entrepreneurship as one of their key skills, and also we're going to go right back to learning, train, coach, and mentor. Last 3 of these 12 traits are stewardship, and that's a lot different concept than managing just by the numbers, because when we're supposed to lead an organization, we have a fiduciary responsibility to make sure that the budgets are done properly, that the money is invested wisely. And it even goes beyond that. It gets to the point where you almost have to have a healing mindset where you're able to help people who may be struggling in their journey to get them up past going through the motions up into performing. And you need to have a desire to serve others. And that seems to be woefully underused or inadequate or just missing completely in today's society. So it's the idea of that a servant leader puts the team and individuals' needs ahead of your own. It sounds opposite of what you should do if you're the leader, but that is one of the key traits of a servant level 5 leader. The difference between management and leadership, and we've talked about this in other ways in other videos in this series, is with management, we're looking at getting the hard work done. So we need those structures, we need those processes, we need those tools in order to do the tactical implementation. And so it's sort of, this is the hard work that has to get done. It requires skills to be able to do the hard work, so we call those hard skills, and programs and training and learning how to become a master of the tasks that you have to get done. And you incorporate in measurable goals and objectives. And so this is okay, we're going to get the work done. Leadership, on the other hand, is the mindset, culture, being able to do the transformation, understanding the disconnect between vision and strategy and people and tasks. And this is the soft skills. These are the politics, understanding how to deal with the politics. We've talked about that already. We need to, as a leader, be able to coach and mentor. We need to understand all the principles we just saw in the last 2 slides about servant leadership. And we need to be able to answer the why and the purpose for everything that we're doing, which takes us right back to vision. And this is why half of everything that we do in flow, and the flow leadership framework, is about vision. And everything else comes from that. So we need to over communicate the vision by a factor of 10 in order for us to succeed and to help our individuals and teams step into and sustain the states of flow that we want them to achieve. So we looked at servant leadership, level 5 leadership in this video. We're going to go through the teal part in the next video. It gets too long, so I decided to split that up. And we already looked at the roles and Agile coach profile in the last video, so I had to cut this up into about 3 parts after the first round when we did this. So we looked at servant leadership, the level 5 leadership, what that's all about, the 12 traits, and then we looked at the difference between management and leadership. And so here's your homework for this video, is to figure out what level leader would you be categorized as. Are you a 1, 2, 3, 4, or are you truly a level 5 leader?